Just at 4 o'clock on our Monday, and yeah, we do have a weather impact alert not only for today, but it goes into tomorrow and Wednesday as well. And it's all about the tropics. We are watching a wave developing just off of our east coast, just east of Cape Canaveral. And in fact, you can see the Hurricane Center is keeping a very close eye on it. 20 to 30% chance of development. They upped that 20% just this afternoon. It was 10%, and it's getting a little bit better organized. The bottom line is this thing's going to be moving east to west across the state as we move through tonight, tomorrow, and parts of Wednesday. And yeah, it's starting to get a little bit of that look. So what's happening now is we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about this on our streaming app, 10 Tampa Bay Plus. We're going to do that right now live. In fact, we're on there now. We'll get you back to weather programming, the regular programming right here. And then don't forget, we will be back on air for everybody at 5 o'clock for 10 Tampa Bay this evening. All right, so jump on over to our 10 Tampa Bay Plus streaming app. You can get that on the phone or your TV, and we'll be talking weather right there. All right, everybody, now we're back on streaming only. We do our little cut in there on 10 Tampa Bay to let everybody know that we're going to be talking about it. Good afternoon. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. This is what we were talking about Friday. We issued our weather impact alert for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, thinking we're probably going to end up more than anything else just seeing some heavy downpours in the thunderstorms that we get and some gusty winds in those thunderstorms. So we may end up with a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. We've had some to our north earlier today. Can't rule that out, especially today, tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we'll have to watch for some of that as well. But here's the main reason why. We have this area that's developing, or at least trying to organize. Let's put it that way, right? Just to our east. And you can see where the low pressure center is right now. And it's starting to get that look to it, right? That spin. And we just now, by the way, got the radar back at Melbourne, which is what's given us most of that data right there. They got hit by lightning, and so they were able to get the repairs in there pretty quickly. But a couple things that we're watching here. What does this look like in here? Where's the spin? You can tell there's a little bit of shear coming in from the north, maybe the northeast, because the center might be somewhere in this area here, but you see all the clouds are down in here too, right? So it's a little bit sheared. However, it is definitely trying to get a low-level center going right into here. So if it gets a good center and it's got thunderstorms near the center and clouds over it, that could be a tropical depression. Now, the modeling suggests it's coming west, maybe west-northwest, over the next 48 hours, which would be just basically a big rainmaker for us. But we'll have to watch it. I don't think this is a big wind deal, although it's already breezy out there right now with these storms that are coming through. So let's talk about that first. Let's go over and kind of so what I'm going to do is show you all of these storms that are coming southward. They're not here yet, but they will be later today, and they will be heavy at times. So we could actually get a couple warnings for them. So let's talk just tropics right now. This is the system here. Still don't have an invest. We should, an invest 92L, 93L, something like that. It'll be running models on it. I'll show you our forecast models. As of about 2 or 3 o'clock, last time I checked, they haven't had that. We'll probably get one of those later tonight, and they'll start running models on it. But these clouds up here, you see those? Those are low-level clouds, okay? It's tough to see here because these are the tops of big thunderstorms, so you're not going to see really underneath those with a visible satellite. Look what's happening out here. You see this wind flow? You see how it's all dragging down to the south-southeast right there? That is an indication that you've got winds wrapping around this, okay? And now, where you can see that there's probably a center somewhere in here maybe. So you can tell how much of the convection is to the south of it, meaning it's sheared a little bit. And the reason why I'm pointing all of this out is because if it gets better organized, this thing's going to be a tropical depression before it comes on land. On the east coast of Florida, right? We're just thinking just a really good rainmaker, but there is a possibility that it gets just a little bit more than that. So let's talk just radar now. I want to show you that. Thank goodness we got the Melbourne's radar back so we can see a little bit further out there because it's close to land. This is the type of situation where you can rely on radar more than modeling, more than anything else, just because you can see it, right? It's not out in the middle of the ocean somewhere where you just have recon if you have that. Recon is not out there today. They will go out tomorrow. And so we'll find out something by then if they don't decide to do anything with just radar data at this particular point. But let's talk local rain now because we've got some good thunderstorms coming through. This is out of Tampa, of course. What you see up there north of Leesburg, east of Gainesville, in the Ocala area, those are big-time thunderstorms. The main threat with those is going to be winds in excess of about 50 miles per hour. Now, they get up to 58, and you get a severe thunderstorm warning, so we're not far from it. Meanwhile, there is a ton of lightning. Look what's happening here in northern Polk County right now. Haines City, eventually down to Winter Haven. That's going to be a loud one, and that's going to have a little bit of hail in it as well with all that lightning that you're seeing there. It's not showing up much here, but you're going to get some of that. So expect that to continue to drift pretty quickly off towards the south. These will be in eastern Hillsborough County. I mean, we have them now just east of Brandon, and in Fishhawk, you're up next. But these will get down out towards Waimama, then Duet and Wauchula. So this whole wave has to come south. And this is our weather for this evening. Now, if you're watching from the coast, I don't want to say the coast is clear because we just had some rain come through. You can see that right there. But for the most part, the trajectory of this particular batch is for inland locations, I-75 eastward. There's more up to the north, and I think some of this is going to rotate down here towards Crystal River, towards western Hernando, western Pasco later tonight. So we're keeping thunderstorms in the forecast through about 10 to 10:30 tonight, and then things will start to fall apart as we lose a little bit of the heating of the day. Tropical systems, they tend to flare up overnight over water. So if you watched my Facebook post today and YouTube, I was really talking about it's going to get interesting to see what this does overnight tonight. Water's certainly warm enough, 80+ degrees, plus you've got the Gulf Stream coming up underneath part of this. So the longer this thing sits out here, the better chance it has to get a little bit stronger and push off towards the west. So that's something else we're going to be watching. Let me show you some of the modeling now. This is our in-house model, and look what it does between now and tomorrow, right around lunchtime. It already is spinning a center onshore somewhere south of Jacksonville, St. Augustine, maybe just south of there, maybe just north of Daytona. Nothing major, right? Barely a close low. But then from 11 a.m. Tuesday to 10 p.m. in about a 12-hour period almost, it's crossed all the way over Florida, and it's got it out here in the Northeast Gulf. And then watch as we go through Wednesday morning. That's around 1:30 Wednesday afternoon. You can see it's somewhere in here, not very well organized. We just have a southeast wind behind that, little breeze if that. But I point this out because this is the type of breeze that gives us afternoon showers and thunderstorms, and we stay warm and muggy. Okay, now let's go out to the winds just to show you this is right now not a wind thing. Now, this is the short range models. Look at all the wind it has. Watch it's going to switch over to the long range. This is short. You see what it's trying to do. The long range isn't picking up on that yet. That will come in soon. It'll be interesting to see what the model thinks here, if it can maintain that. Bottom line is most of the wind's offshore, all right? Not on the west side where it'll be coming in the Northeast Florida, and certainly not a big deal for Tampa. And you can see even by Wednesday morning where it's out here almost towards New Orleans by Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, there's not a whole lot there. The GFS model, something maybe here, not much, okay? That is Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Let's go out to Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. There it is, very weak. But the point is, it is trying to drift it west and come across, and once it gets into the Gulf, then it tries to organize a little bit better. That's been the thinking all along, but I've been saying we gotta watch this thing where it's sitting right now. I don't think it does much, but I think it's probably more than just nothing. Because you can see it's rotating right now. So let's go out and take a look at the European forecast model. You can see clearly it's got it right here, okay, just east of Cape Canaveral, northeast of there. And then it's very similar to our graph model, our in-house Futurecast model.